People often say that the greatest invention of all was the wheel, but that's only for land. Most of this planet is water, and that makes me the greatest invention of all. I am a merchant ship from the sea-obsessed civilization of ancient Greece, and this is my true story of sailing and sinking into history. Ship's log, maiden voyage, month of Agrianios in the first year of the 113th Olympiad. That's late spring, 328 BCE. I am made of lumber, and lumbering I should be, not racing along at, oh my gods, almost 3 miles an hour. The shore is moving away too fast. It's not easy for a thing of the forest to become a thing of the sea. My timbers of Turkish pine never imagined they would give shape some day to the world's most advanced machine, a merchant ship under sail. Away from land for the first time on the foamy waters of Poseidon's realm, I am desperate to slow down, to catch my breath. Oh me, I hate to admit it, but I doubt I can survive another day out here on the Mediterranean Sea. Ship's log, nearing Athens, month of Carneus, in the third year of the 116th Olympiad. That's summer, 314 BCE. I've come a long, long way since that first daunting voyage so many seasons ago. I not only survived, I have thrived, scudding from port to port, stitching together the ragged coastlines of 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Each sailing season from late spring to early autumn I bargained with wind and waves to safeguard the souls and salaries of the sailors and their families who depend upon me. My skipper and his 3 mates must cram into close quarters, since I am mostly undecked and not quite 46 feet long. Modest coast huggers like me do a brisk trade for those who don't want to risk all their inventory on one big ship. When one of those giants goes down, whole businesses go under too. At every port the skipper takes on mixed cargoes of one kind or another, normally consignments of wine, grain, or small luxury items, but most anything will do. Empty ships fill no purses, he likes to say. Well, there's the Athenian port of Piraeus up ahead. I'm sure the crew will be having a good time tonight. Ship's log, near Kos, month of Panamos, in the fourth year of the 118th Olympiad. That's summer, 305 BCE. I labor in seas frothed by the ambitions of powerful men. Almost 20 years ago, Alexander the boy king from Macedonia suddenly died and left his empire sprawled like a meaty carcass among carnivores. Alexander's salivating generals immediately set upon each other for their shares of the feast, and that means the seas are no longer safe for small ships like me. Only a few miles from here, a Macedonian navy is attacking my home port of Rhodes, the largest base of merchant marines in this part of the Mediterranean. Like good businessmen, we Rhodians have tried to remain neutral throughout the wars for Alexander's empire. But our robust economy has become the envy of all, and now the objective of a newly crowned king aptly named Demetrius the Besieger. He is commandeering every ship he can find for logistical support, but I refuse to join battle against my home. Besides, I'm getting too old for that sort of thing. Ship's log, port of Rhodes, month of Bodramios, in the third year of the 120th Olympiad. That's early spring, 298 BCE. King Demetrius failed to get his hands on Rhodes in spite of an epic siege. The stalwart citizens of my hometown, reinforced by their own freed slaves, beat back the year-long assault by land and sea. Around the docks, some are saying this was the greatest defensive struggle of all time. The Rhodians have plans to set up a gigantic celebratory statue of the sun god Helios, standing astride the harbor. I reckon this colossus of roads will be one of those wonders of the world. I hope I can see it finished, but time is taking its toll on me. I'm slowly losing my lifelong battle against shipworms, those termites of the sea that bore into my timbers. Occasional scrapings and fresh coats of pitch have helped a little, but twice I have been hauled out for major surgery. Lately, like a leaky pot, I have been patched inside and out with hammered sheets of lead. I'm an old boat on life support, but I'm not ready yet to retire. Oh, here comes the skipper now to load me up again. What is it this time? Ship's log, north coast of Cyprus, month of Dalios, in the second year of the 126th Olympiad. That's autumn, 275 BCE. The lovely little harbor of Kyrenia just drifted out of sight to starboard, and I'm creaking along comfortably just a half mile offshore. Deep down in my belly lies a heavy load of 29 millstones, weighing 126 pounds each. Layered atop the millstones is a load of 404 tall, two-handled amphorae, the ubiquitous shipping crates of Mediterranean commerce. These heavy clay vessels with their one-pointed foot are like the ships that carry them, too ungainly to stand upright on land, but perfect for traveling the seas. They are virtually indestructible and hold about 7 gallons of wine each. To this burden, the skipper has just added a shipment of 10,000 Cypriot almonds. Besides the crew and their belongings, I cannot possibly carry anything more. Maybe that ship rowing out to meet us wants to see if we have any trade goods to unload for the villagers nearby. I certainly hope so. My sore ribs could sure use a little lessening of this cargo. Ship's log, seabed off Cyprus, month of Dalios, in the second year of the 126th Olympiad. That's still autumn, 275 BCE. Villagers, my busted keel. Those were pirates. The scoundrels swarmed us before anyone realized the danger. Not that I could ever have outrun them so heavily laden. I suppose they spotted us riding deep with cargo so close ashore and couldn't resist the opportunity for a bit of commerce, as they like to call it. They showered us with javelins before we could even surrender. The men aboard me had nowhere to hide, and I took 8 hits myself. They boarded and quickly ransacked me for what little I had to offer, the personal belongings of my unfortunate crew, the season's accumulated purse, and of course a slosh of wine to celebrate. I was judged unworthy of towing just a few hundred yards to shore for a more thorough pillaging, so my assailants simply hacked a hole in my hull to scuttle me forever. One moment I had 100 feet of seawater below me, and the next I had 100 overhead. That's the small but essential difference between being a ship and a shipwreck. Ship's log, seabed off Cyprus, month of Carneus, in the second year of the 686th Olympiad. That's summer, 1967 CE. That bubbling man thing reappeared today, bringing with it for the first time others of its species. These creatures, half human and half fish, seem excited to see me lying here. I'm awfully curious about them as well. They all have bulbous backs, finned feet, huge glassy eyes, and mouths perpetually clogged by the coils of some eely parasite. If these beasts could communicate, I wonder if I would hear anything like the melodious languages of my youth, or maybe now the grunts and squeaks of some new life form. Have survivors from Plato's sunken Atlantis finally found me? Do Greeks as handsome as their gods still walk on dry land? Are there any forests left up there, or ships? As they swim away, I suddenly feel that suffocating loneliness of my centuries under sea. Maybe I've just imagined it all. Ship's log, Kyrenia, month of Hyacintheos, in the fourth year of the 686th Olympiad. That's summer, 1969 CE. Schools of the bubbling creatures have swarmed over me for the past 2 years, slowly revealing themselves to be real-life men and women on a mission to free me from Poseidon's grasp. Wearing something called scuba in their odd language, they're making a new science of me called nautical archaeology. I must say I like all the attention. They're certainly better company than the octopus that has been living among my ruins, stealing all the stuff he likes. Some of my crew's dishes, for example, a wooden spoon, an iron chisel, and lots of almonds. It was the local Cypriot sponge diver who led Michael and Susan Katsev here to excavate me piece by piece from the ocean floor, recognizing in my misfortunes a rare opportunity to fill a huge gap in maritime history. I am like a waterlogged encyclopedia of ancient seafaring. Ship's log, Kyrenia Castle, month of Smintheos, in the third year of the 697th Olympiad. That's spring, 2012 CE. My 5 tons of soggy salvaged wood were fussed over night and day by a very meticulous fellow named Richard Steffi. He came to this old Crusader castle years ago to puzzle my 6,000 pieces back where they belong. During all that time, Steffi kept up a secret, one-sided conversation. Not with me, mind you, but with an imaginary shipwright he called Aristides of Rhodes. To make me whole again, Steffi did nothing until he understood how Aristides might have done it first in ancient times. Beyond these walls, I am now apparently quite famous. I have starred in documentaries, books, magazines, and even on a modern coin. In my honor, full-scale replicas have sailed around the world alongside huge vessels that would put to shame the mighty warships of King Demetrius the Besieger. Amazing, isn't it, that I have even outlived the wondrous Colossus of Rhodes, which lasted fewer than 14 Olympiads before an earthquake knocked it down. I sure wish my last crew could see me now, still sailing into history. I'm Dr. Frank L. Holt, thanking you for watching and wishing you calm seas. If you enjoyed this video, please take a microsecond to tap that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. I published an earlier version of this story in Aramco World magazine with illustrations by the brilliant Norman MacDonald. Allow me also to thank Susan Katsev for generously sharing her first-hand knowledge of the ship's excavation, and Lauren Steffi for information about the indispensable role played by his father Richard in reconstructing this vessel.